Good news, everybody. It is haircut day, so I've been forced to keep it short. And I think this should just be the standard, MO. The standard modus operandi here. Short and sweet. Welcome back, everyone. Artist Journal, Friday edition, February 3rd, 2023. Broadcasting from Berlin, Germany. My name is Adrian Pocobelli, and it is the second time this week we have an RJ to begin, but I can't help it. I go with what is kind of most exciting in my mind, and I also kind of like the grand picture at the beginning and something that fits the front page, so to speak. Not a news program, Rorich. It is not a news program. Thankfully, because if this was a news program, could I make a shorter newspaper today? Incredibly? Interesting question. I don't think so. But as a journal, sometimes as a journal, you write 2 sentences. Other times you write 4 pages. I am opting towards the shorter version. Anyways, in the spirit of keeping things fast here, happy Friday again. Look at this. So RJ, he sold the last work. He burnt that. Again, I feel like I use the word masterpiece too loosely here, but isn't it great that I even have the dilemma in my head? And I'll show you the masterpiece, the one that we were talking about yesterday, the computer in the chair. Maybe the reason it looks like a masterpiece, because it probably is based on a masterpiece. This is based on a David Hockney here. I love this series, and maybe, part of the reason is because he uses these beautiful paintings as sources here. So David Hockney, Henry Geldzahler and Christopher Scott, 1969. So a beautiful early Hockney here, 1960s Hockney. And it's kind of back to this idea, this is a sophisticated crowd out here, okay? And this is, to me, at least in my mind, this is more evidence. It's like, oh, okay, not only do they know who David Hockney is, okay, so check. But I'm seeing paintings, if you ask me, is this a Hockney without me even, and I've been to, there's a billion Hockney shows a lot of us have been to. It's kind of like Picasso, they keep showing the same 30 artists over and over, and Hockney is one of them. But, so I've been to many a Hockney show here, but if you said, is that a who made this, I'm not sure I would have been able to place it. So all to say, not only is, from my perspective, and, not only is this cool that he's using Hockney, but he's using Hockneys that I don't even recognize. And I like that too. So that's exciting. That's fun. So again, the person here the computer is replacing the people. So I love the simplicity of the metaphor. The reserve has gone up. I think deservedly and wisely. I mean, we'll see if anybody bids, but I have no question in my mind that someone will bid at some point. So he's raised the reserve. Again, good for him. This is a beautiful, beautiful piece, Beautiful piece for your digital gallery. One day, a friend at the, this is the masterpiece, by the way, or the gorgeous, gorgeous work. This must be based on a Picasso or a Matisse or something. I'm not sure. Fairfield Porter's portrait of his daughter. So nice and obscure, I've never even heard of Fairfield Porter. So here I ramble on about sophisticatedness, and these people are likely more sophisticated than me, at least in some areas, right? So look at, again, this work here, this work. Now, what were we talking about? Someone was asking me, but at the show the other day, where do you show this stuff though? Can you print out an NFT? That was one of the questions. Again, from this kind of non-art digital crowd, not typically art, but loving the art, importantly, back to that kind of popular taste idea and the masses being left behind idea. So someone was asking if you could print out the NFTs, which is hilarious. But I was sort of saying, I think the future will be where the walls will basically be made of screen material. And so you can change your wallpaper just like that, and you'll be able to put your NFT on the wall because it'll be just basically one big screen. Probably just some, you see the foldable screens or the, screens on soft materials. I'm sure if you did a search, this must exist, right? Even though I've never seen it. But to me, that is the inevitable result, this is the logical what should happen is, the walls will become screens. And so we won't have any issues, in my opinion, in the future of, you have a square screen, so you can only show square works unless you want big black rectangles on the side. So anyways, so this has been turned into a open edition. Somewhat sadly in my heart, but I'll show you why I'm not too sad in a second. But pretty cool, and I'll be definitely checking in 48 hours, 47 hours, and see, I hope he mints a ton, first of all, but the inner collector is like, if it's a nice low edition, I'm coming in. This is a beautiful work. I generally just collect on Tezos, just because that's where I've built my collection, so, I have some ETH works, but not many, and so, but this, I may, kind of make an exception here. So anyways, open edition from RJ, this gorgeous work of art, selling for a song. Let's see how many go. It'll be fascinating. And RJ sent me this, by the way, and that is not why, and I want to clarify, that is not why I open with RJ. People send me works all the time, okay? But RJ was just very thankful for me showing his work, and he's saying it's making a difference. And I'm so glad that me just sort of talking about stuff that interests me and going, oh, I can't believe how, great this is and how cheap this is. I'm glad that that's helping people. I mean, it's not I'm not some saint that's going out here to promote everybody I'm just sort of talking about what I like, okay, and what's kind of turning my head, because it seems in my universe it's an untold story, as it would be if your story is probably untold too, if you're not getting on the mic or getting on Twitter and telling your story. So anyways, all to say, RJ sent me this gorgeous work of art. Now, computer at a window, this is an edition of 5 on Object, so very, very nice piece here. And this, of course, is based on Salvador Dalí's, and I believe this is Figure at a Window, but this is supposedly his sister. And looking at a window, so you can see here the similarity. And I'm kind of back to this idea of how technology mediates our experience of history, right? This is what my Related Images series is about. There's this one. There's this one. See, the color is completely different. I think RJ probably used this one. The color is a lot closer here. But it's interesting how, Google Images mediates our interpretation and understanding of art history by virtue of all these different photographs and the lighting they were taken under, the quality of the camera. And so our experience of this painting, which is the real one, right? We were talking about this with the Bellini Doge. So that is the source of, say, the Related Images series that I work on, which we can show at another time. And you see it actually in the, I'll show you. That's kind of up here. That's kind of what's going on here. So I used a printer to print out all the different versions of the Bellini Doge that I was finding. And so that's kind of related to what we were just talking about there. So you see how all these kind of themes kind of interweave here. RJ's kind of relating to my work obliquely. And anyways, a very interesting comment from Aitso. So we were discussing those one-of-ones, those fantastic, remember the 70s space age chair? FYI from Aitso, the one-of-one that Ellie collected, remember, I think his name is Ellie Collector, was commissioned by them. So cool commission from Ellie. And then look at this, though. Aitso continues, also, my future bar cart one-of-one, which you covered previously, was a one-of-one commissioned by Luis Ponce. Now, Luis Ponce is the guy who just, shattered or, broke through the top of the charts there. Remember him with the crazy gifts and was at the top of the charts? We were talking about him earlier this week. So Luis Ponce commissioned a one-of-one from Aitso, so people are loving this series, and these aren't small names here. I've got a few more already requested, but I'll do more one-of-ones as I have time. So a big congrats to Aitso. That's super exciting and good for you, and you're killing it with the commissions. Commissions are not easy. I'm not a big fan of taking commissions because I find this weird pressure of things have to be a certain way and whatever. Maybe I should get over that. But yeah, like look at this gray. This was a commission. Like he's killing it on the commissions. Like I think it takes a particular talent really to kill it on the commissions, or you got to have a certain process that you can just kind of put it to work and the process works. Here is the bar cart. So these were both commissions. So this one, I mean, I think this was Ellie the Collector. You can't be happier. And this one turned out beautifully as well. But this one, you can't be happy with, like, you can't be happy enough getting this in the mail, So anyway, and here's a new one by Aitso, who, again, we're all over it here. So yeah, I get it, Luis Ponce and Ellie the Collector. Look at how beautiful this is. And look at, I mean, we don't even need to say it. It's beautiful, and we want to keep it short here. I just wanted to do an update from yesterday. So we were talking about this, and why shouldn't artists do what Louis Osborne did here, and frankly do 5 or 6 other colors, okay? He did 2 colors here. The same image, just a different background color. The collectors are cool, right? The collectors here, there's an edition of 75, still, offer of 36, going for 75. And here, edition of 25, offer of 46. Like, I have no problem from putting on my collector's hat of buying this. And as an artist, I'm a huge fan of this. This, it costs nothing to do, and it creates a different artwork. Again, Warhol kind of valorized speed. When he talked about Basquiat and what he loved about him, the first thing he mentioned was speed. I envy his speed, I think he said. And that is one of the beautiful things about digital is, first of all, you can make the same work twice digitally, right? And then just change certain aspects of it, and it's a different work of art. And it's back to speed and back to using the medium to its full potential. And I'm thrilled that, the collectors seem cool, artists are cool, everybody's happy. So, maybe this was only an issue in my own head, but I'm just really happy to see stuff like that. I think it's great. I'll tell you what else is great is 1-Bit Necro is going physical. This is exciting, okay? What's up? So this is a response to Limbo. We're going to see some Limbo work later in the program. And a couple of works from Limbo's feed appear here. Limbo is a great follow, by the way, in terms of art and just everything, NFT space. So 1-Bit Necro, what's up? I am making prints and custom floppy disks with one-of-one NFTs clawing back out of the abyss. Okay, and so here it's on OpenSea. You dig mine, comrade? So 1-Bit Necro is an acquired taste, okay? Not everybody loves 1-Bit Necro, I imagine. I'm a huge fan. And the reason I say that is because I was slow to get 1-Bit Necro. A very acquired taste, but once you drink that, that drop of blood, I almost want to say, you never go back. So here's the official announcement: live one-of-one NFT and Giclée print, custom floppy diskette. So that's what you see here. Exclusive to crypto NFT Twitter friends, $100. So again, if you saw this in Tezos, I'd be like, oh, it's only 100 Tezos, and you get all that, in dollars. I'm like, oh, geez, I don't know. But anyways, this is cheap, all to say, and look at what you get for all 3 items. So you get a one-of-one NFT, which is this of this. I'll show you in a second. You get a floppy disk, so practically a sculpture, and you get a Giclée print. So a very nice print. So I may have to act on this. I mean, it's endless here. I mean, the amount of art that you want to purchase is endless in this space, but this is particularly special. So here it is on OpenSea. You can see the different ones. And I think I brought up, so this is where you buy it on the website here. And let me very quickly show you, so 1-Bit Necro has a website. Arcane Knowledge Request. Do you want forbidden knowledge? Then seek it now. So you can sign up for that. I have already done that. So anyways, again, I'm trying to keep these short here, but I can't wait to watch this. The VHS Rewind Agency, Canto 1, Canto 2, The Mothman in this. Again, this is kind of like acquired taste, but just like a fine wine that you may not understand at first. once you kind of get more familiar with it, almost like we were seeing with Hasdrubal Waffle. That took me like 4 weeks, from the Zubaz pants there, liking that one and being confused by the rest to going, this is all awesome. Big thank you to, and we're going to see how to pronounce resatio is the pronunciation of the name. Big thank you to resatio. Bidders edition will be sent to top 3 bidders after 0.3 auction, and 1 edition will be sent to Pocobelli. So I just want to thank you guys for these gifts, because in a sense, nobody gets paid over here. Islay doesn't get paid. Nobody gets paid here. Rune Toon, hopefully he's going to get some rug token, and we're going to start getting Rug Radio's token out of that from doing the Twitter spaces. But I mean, rug token's at like 8 cents. So, but you never know. Okay, and I think rug, again, not financial advice, but it's an exciting area. Let's just put it that way. So anyways, shout out to resatio, and here is the pronunciation.
Resatio.
Resatio. All right.
Resatio.
Okay. So now that that's cleared up, resatio. From Indonesian, how to pronounce my name, or just call me Tio, like your uncle. Agor sent me this, and this is great. The State of Generative Art Market. So Kalo has a newsletter. If you're not aware, and you should subscribe, it is good. 5-minute read to start the day. He puts a lot of work into it, and this is great. So I opened it up. The State of the Generative Art Market, and look, last week I talked about the generative art market at Bright Moments, Mexico City. I shared my view of the movement considering popular concepts, the landscape of marketplaces and platforms, and some exciting blockchain stats. This is a summary. So I just wanted to go into what is generative art, because that's actually come up in our spaces. I think Chi Moscow Jackson and Sabato and all of us, Rune Toon and myself, we were trying to figure this out. And again, shout out to Kant, who I think is going to show up to the next one as well, which is exciting. I will send an invite on Tuesday for the Wednesday spaces. It is every week, Wednesday at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. This is what I wanted to look at. Look at this definition of generative art from Philip Galanter, Texas A&M University, 2003. Any art practice where the artist uses a system such as a set of natural language rules, so not just code, a computer program, a machine, or other procedural invention, and then here, this is in bold, which is set into motion with some degree of autonomy, contributing to or resulting in a completed work of art. Ladies and gentlemen, this sounds like an airtight definition of generative art, courtesy of Kalo.xyz and Philip Galanter of Texas A&M University. So that is exciting, because we were having the discussion, is a PFP project generative art? And we were sort of, veering towards yes, it is. And I think according to this definition, I think we could say, which is set into motion with some degree of autonomy. I think unquestionably PFP, profile picture projects, would fit into that category. And just finally from Kalo here, I particularly like this definition, me as well. It feels airtight because it supports various techniques and styles from generative coded art to art made with AI. Now that's an interesting thing. So is AI art generative art? That is an interesting question, because I want to say my totally biased, irrational side wants to say, no, it's a different category. But if you look at the definition, I'd have to say yes. So very interesting. Give Kalo XY, sign up to his newsletter. It's really good. And yeah, he's a very nice guy. Yuri J posted this work. I almost started with this. This is a beautiful work. I couldn't find it minted anywhere. Maybe it's out there, but I thought this was quite a stunning digital abstract artwork. So nice work, Yuri J. Looking forward to, let me know if you happen to watch this or if you heard about this. I'm curious where this came from, and you should mint this. It's beautiful. Another digital abstract work is an open edition courtesy of Santiago Ni, .eth. Soldier of Truth. So this is an open edition. I believe it's 0.01. So in the, I don't want to say earlier style because he's still using the style, but I remember these are the first works I remember coming across from Santiago. Look at that red, that bright red. I mean, this outrageous background color with, again, the complementary green clashing. So anyways, we shall move on here. We're already at the 20-minute mark. 0.01, 2 minted, so it could be a nice low edition as well. 6 days to go. Soldier of Truth. Edmarola, Fugere Urbem. So again, back to the sophistication, here I'm proclaiming all sorts of stuff on what is sophisticated. I don't even know what that means, okay? So, but this is good, okay? It speaks to this whole idea, this is not just people making pretty pictures and just simple, nothing against PFP projects. I think some are quite brilliant, but this isn't just, as people say, apes, JPEG apes, or monkey JPEGs. That is the term. These are not simply monkey JPEGs over here. Okay, so there's a lot going on in here that is often kind of unrecognized. I mean, Eile was mentioning that to me in a message there. I hope you don't mind me mentioning that, but just how I think it's pretty simple stuff, or straightforward, or in the sense of, let me put it this way. I don't think you mind me mentioning that, is what I'm trying to say. And I agree with you, which is why I mention it, because I think it's actually kind of insightful, which is a lot of this is not being recognized, this sophistication, which is kind of why I keep talking about it. Okay, so I dig myself out of that hole. Shout out to Eile. And by the way, Eile and everybody else, I did a test this morning, and there's soon going to be, I can put Eile's timestamps into YouTube, and they translate beautifully. Like, they started to work. I did just a test on yesterday's episode. So there will soon be timestamps. I'm going to start putting them in the morning. So that's exciting too. So again, big shout out to Eile on that. Walk with a abstract-ish work called Future. I'm not sure what the reference is here. So the dance continues with Walk at auction for 3. Let's just see very quickly. 3 hours to go. Someone might walk away with this for 3. So auctions have lots of opportunities if it's someone where their tweet got lost in the mail, which happens a lot. So continuing on, Kato. I saw this in a few collections. This is pretty cool. I think mech.txt maybe had it. I saw it in a couple of collections. Anyways, I thought just a nice abstract work. Well, we're in the abstract category here. Poster 04 by Kato. And it felt like a bit of a, like it's similar kind of style in a sense, but different feel. This really goes nice, you could say you put it on the wall and you'd feel great about it. So anyways, I wonder if it's a start of a new series. It kind of has that feel. That's what I'm trying to say. We're trying to say many things here today. Uxine, status update, cool title. And what seems to be a tribute to Die With The Most Likes. And he was mentioning in a tweet that someone had a request to do some meat. So again, we see a few Die With The Most Likes references here. Of course, the meat hanging off of the hook here and the hub and everything. But, a great tribute, because totally an Uxine style at the same time. The communication is excellent here, isn't it? Because I can tell, basically, I thought, as soon as I saw that, I thought Die With The Most Likes, but it's just done in, signature Uxine style. So anyways, I think these are still on offer, and I think they're like the top offers. Again, go to Uxine's Twitter. I'm going by memory here. But I think he sent one to Die With The Most Likes. One is going to be a random draw, which is why you see 179 offers here. And then I think it's like the top, 8 or 9, whatever it is, okay? You guys go to his tweets to get the final details there. Haiti Rocket back on the scene, 10K 900 Forever. A wonderful title, a beautiful title, and a skull referencing forever. So we're all about forever here. We try and place ourselves as much as we can in a forever state of mind. Eternal space here we are attempting to occupy here. Well, so anyways, cool work is what I'm trying to say here. Great GIF from Haiti, kind of Petsky filter style in his trademark style there. Also another work in the glitch ROM category here, and kind of a Akira kind of feel to it, and Canon. So anyways, a really nice kind of minimal glitch ROM work here. And you see, of course, the glitches across here. And this is going for only $888, and the cool Japanese, I assume, writing. Continuing on, speaking of Nintendo glitch ROMs, Luke500, big shout out. Thanks for sending this. He's totally on top of so many things that I'm not aware of. So yeah, so that is always appreciated, Luke. This is from Async Market. So you can see their stuff on OpenSea, and they, I think, are a big generative art platform, but I'm not actually that sure. Inaccessible Worlds. So this came out, and this is from Sergeant Slaughtermelon. And you see how beautiful this, so I assume this is generative. I assume, and these beautiful kind of Nintendo glitch ROM abstractions, like they're quite wonderful. So anyways, thanks Luke500 for sending these. These are beautiful. And he's like, I thought of you immediately. And yeah, I'm totally all over this glitch ROM. And I think there's just, again, it's such an interesting area of exploration. And again, this is considered glitch, I think, because it's taking a technology and kind of disturbing it, okay? And here is a close-up. And it's pretty cool, like JPEG, NFT culture. You can download this stuff. They even give you the download link. So anyways, here's a just close-up example. Really nice. Download visual. That's pretty cool. Lorna Mills, classic GIF maker, true believer. Kind of semi-abstract. I guess this is bubbles. These look like soap bubbles. And interesting contrast, right? With a couple of contrasts. We have the organic shape of the bubble contrasting with the pixels, the hard edge pixels, and also the color in the bubbles, this rainbow with this just kind of neutral, kind of a warmish neutral gray in the background. Really effective work here. Buy for $125. So edition of $125. I guess they all sold out. Wow. So these were selling for $10. I guess, yeah, these were popular. Or $666. I don't know what happened here. But anyways, there it is. A beautiful work of art. Dan Control. And Lorna Mills often buys Dan Control's work, so I like to show them together oftentimes. So Drone, flying on Tez. So, and you know who else this reminded me of? Was Sabato's Chrome period. Those black and white drawing exercises. So anyways, interesting angle on it. At first I thought this was the back, but this is probably the front because it has the camera here. So interesting. So anyways, very cool work from Dan Control. Buy for $3, edition of 30. Looks like it's still on primary. I kind of liked what was going on here. Remember Nifty Monkey, the guy that does the crazy GIFs or the very, very wild GIFs? We looked at him this week. Anyways, looks like there's a collaboration here. And this is looking pretty promising, so I thought I'd show it. This is from Femiki, JFemiki on Twitter. And so it looks like a collab. And of course, Cap'n, also known as Plants, with a beautiful new work here. Edition of 15, pretty low edition, for 3 Tezos here. So a nice rainbow-looking plant. Again, you get the contrast of the moving and the color with the neutral black and white static. So nice contrast here. Nice piece. Puro May, showing the Vanguard scene here. So I'll give you a close-up here. So that appears to be Myth. That appears to be Kappa. And there is MoMA. And then here is, this looks like more Lacos. So anyways, they're all listed here. Moto MT, I always get that. Martin Geek and Bursector, and yeah, so Rustic Digital Art and everybody. Elo, Joan Lafleur, everybody. So anyways, just a cool work. And again, what kind of impressed people at the show was how all these artists were cross-referencing each other. And here's another example of that. And look, I missed this. You see the Rustic Digital Art in the background and then the Myth. So, all this cross-referencing speaks to a culture. And again, that kind of, not to reduce it to financial, and I'm not saying this is financial value, but it creates value. And I'd even say maybe that's not even necessarily in a financial way, but cultural value. And then as a result, that kind of creates financial value. But all this cross-referencing, it speaks to a scene. And scenes, maybe it's just artists giving social proof to one another, But it's, again, to me, and feel free to disagree, it kind of builds credibility. And that's what I love about the scene. This is why I can talk about this every day, is because I see credibility all over the place here. Speaking of which, John, one of the most old school artists in the sense of has been around Tezos for the longest, has a massive collector base, hasn't got enough attention on this show, looks like he's putting out daily works, February 2nd, 2023, and maybe that is John. He's known for his skeletons here and his windows, and so he is watering the plants with some Evian bottled water, treating his plants right, and you see pizza box, Pepsi, and, in his style, in his kind of Giphy style. So that is super cool. Plant care. This was something I believe I saw on Limbo's feed, just an interesting illustrator here. So this is on Foundation. And let me just see here. Jeff Affisit 96 pinball. And yeah, here's other works. So you can see a definite style. Last sold for 3. Sold for 2.92. So he's selling very well. Wow. These are impressive prices here. So Jeff Affisit, a new addition to the roll here. And here's Limbo. So he is putting out a open edition. Again, Limbo is a great follow. GM and happy Friday, friends. 13 hours left to scoop an edition of this artwork. Very cheap, 0.013. If you scoop 2 and burn 1, you'll get a special airdrop on the right. So maybe he's referencing this piece. And then if you buy 2 and burn 1, then you get this piece. And so here it is, and he's selling quite a few. It's minted at 46 editions at 0.013. So that's half an ETH already. So the open editions, again, it feels like a fixture in the space increasingly. And you saw it with RJ. I can't wait to see how RJ does there. Lewis Harriet. This was also found in Limbo's feed, which is, again, a very good feed. The Gravity Loom, my collection so far on Super Rare. So I believe we've looked at this artist before, but this is a new one, which I haven't seen before. So just kind of a wild illustrator here, right? Almost like a maze on the lion here. It's just, abstraction and it's sort of like, it's all representational, but it's almost treated as as abstraction. So like the sea coming in here is almost like putting a splash of paint in the right corner. You know what I'm saying? So just kind of interesting, and interesting palette as well. So this is what you see on Super Rare, and here is their Super Rare. The Dislocated Sisters Chromatic. So this was just minted the other day. So the value of looking at other people's feeds and collections here. Nalta, happy Friday, everyone. So another interesting artist here, another interesting illustrator, and, kind of an Eastern feel to this one. Nalta is visual artist, digital flat, Sungin, and yeah, so I'm not sure I've seen them before. I'm following them, though, so excellent. And, of course, Astra Karma, kind of, I'd say increasingly a Tezos classic here, looking over at DNA and the planets, and again, kind of a surreal landscape here with their cushion and everything here. And maybe this is on a roof, maybe it's looking at a projector, kind of ambiguous. It's not true what they say, I do not wish to evade the world, I just want to build my own. So it looks like a surrealist piece. Alive, aware, in O, become one with the Alpenglow. Edition of 25, buy for $247. Here was an edgy work by Turkarak, and I still want to share this, disagreeing on price. So again, very edgy here, especially the title, disagreeing. So not only do you have the guy who's soliciting the woman, but disagreeing on price adds an extra edge of darkness, and you see the rat coming through here. So again, I'm a big fan of Turkarak, as many of you know. It kind of for portraying, the dark side of human nature, okay, or So, and I brought up here because this is often there's a kind of a, I don't know if I'd call it. It might be overstating to call it an eternal debate, but there is a big debate. I think. Feel free to disagree. On human nature, ultimately, and is human nature as Jean-Jacques Rousseau says, is human nature born good and corrupted by society? As they say here, what was Rousseau's main idea theory? Conjectural history and moral psychology. Rousseau repeatedly claims that a single idea is at the center of his worldview, namely that human beings are good by nature, but are rendered corrupt by society. And I don't actually agree with that. I actually take more of I think the Marquis de Sade likely was a response to Rousseau, which is actually, nature is neutral, and we're more closer to an ape, which, it can be very tender with its young, but can be incredibly violent and murderous, unchecked. So civilization is, again, this fragile thing, this iceberg, and this tiny, civilization is what's above the sea, okay? And the rest is us by nature. So a fragile, precious thing. So, I kind of felt Turkarak was kind of evoking some of these themes here as he explores human nature. Again, for Ballard, J.G. Ballard, one of the hallmarks of the modern is honesty. And part of it becomes about, as I like to say, if I can remember the words, transcribing the nervous system. It's about transcribing the nervous system, the dark side of human nature, and this honesty we learn about ourselves potentially. And the more we know about ourselves, the more likely we are to kind of fend off this darkness that arguably, as many people would argue, as well as myself, is kind of a core feature of the human psyche. So there is your philosophy for the day, folks. And for the program, Julien Pacot, a really cool, so another play on the tarot. This looks like more like collage here, but I want to highlight this. This is on Nifty Gateway here, and you see some examples. So very cool, on February 1st, so this probably already started to sell. And how are we doing here? My short episode in theory. I need to get a haircut here, guys. So here it is. You can check it out on Nifty Gateway. Coda Nakazono, continuum number 51. So continuing with this organic shapes that are animated and also, pixelated work in contrast. So continues to be very interesting. Pretty low edition of 11, selling for 10. Continuum number 51. Shout out to Fake Smile and Fake Smile's wonderful comments on Twitter about the show and how they're enjoying it. And I'm enjoying this artwork here. It looks like AI art community, GM to the High Plane Drifters. So pretty interesting AI art, Fake Smile. I haven't seen you mint this. So if there's like an object or something, I only saw the foundation where I only found one work, but you may want to mint that. I'd put it on object or something, but maybe foundation is even better. Get more money. Kika Nikolela with some interesting AI fashion. So again, the fashion industry seems to be one of those industries that are going to be completely disrupted, and you're seeing it in the arts. Maybe first, I don't know. They just had Fashion Week here in Berlin. It would have been interesting to hear what they would have had to say. Speaking of AI art inspired by the Mandela effect of fashion and modern items appearing in the wrong era, look at Strange Thing. So he sold a work on ninfa.io. I actually loaded that and my computer crashed. But I'm sure, so just heads up there, but they're a new platform and it probably works for everybody else. I probably had too much open. Angels versus Demons sold for $2,000. So as an artist, you may be interested too. A very nice piece. Another beautiful work by Strange Thing. So congrats on that. Mopi Wellington, blooming. And so it continues, and I believe this is on Object. So nice piece here. AI art, edition of 1, and just minted. So we'll see what that goes for. And another interesting AI work, this time from Ivano Moved, Fleet, Raw AI, and we've looked at their work before. We've looked at Ivano's work before, which kind of plays with this textile kind of texture and pixelation made with AI. So isn't that interesting? Then you could probably send this to some, textile printing place and print that out as a something for your bed, a blanket or something, or a shirt or a sweater. You know, so that's kind of mind-boggling. Look at Tokyo Love here. I wasn't sure where to put this because I wasn't sure if it was just a painting or is this a sculpture. It kind of almost looks real here. Anyway, I thought just a pretty cool bionic hand here. And finally, another work by Jesse Makinson. This was posted. So Jesse is posting work as this show is closing down. Last few days of Hoof on Bone. I thought evil thoughts all the way. So here's another example of their beautiful, beautiful work here. And yeah, so this is physical painting. And look at this. So just really, really nice work here. And that is your show, everyone. I hope you have a great weekend. Thank you for all the support and be super creative out there. I can't wait to get to my work after the haircut, and I'll talk to you soon. Until next time, take care.